Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. 3, 4. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? Welcome back in for another exciting episode where we cross the finish line. Maybe we'll see. Yeah. Let's just get straight into it and see what I can accomplish. Full disclosure, I have a friend over, so they might pop in for a second. I should check my Kick Chat. I haven't checked my Kick Chat in like the past 3 broadcasts. Nothing. All right. It's kind of what I expected. Yeah, so if I just go straight to the BRB screen, you know why. Oh. Yes, that's where we are. However, yeah. How was it out there? Huh? No, that's fine. No, literally, I'm just like clipping things. Like I could show you what I'm doing, but um, it's basically like I'm taking all of these clips from this program and I'm like chopping out all of the bad clips.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's literally like I'm just
Oh, so you can get rid of that stuff.
yeah. Well, that and like I'm not even actually recording. Like I kind of am when I'm on the stream, but literally it kind of looks like this though. So
Oh.
I'm on screen, and then
So your audiobooks, can they see you too?
no, not really, no. But when I like broadcast what the process is like, then they can see it.
Huh.
Yeah,
Neat.
yeah,
Like technological.
absolutely.
It is getting warm outside.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't know what the temperature's supposed to be.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that because I am so sick and tired of the cold. What's up, TX Wild? How you doing? Welcome back. It's E from TikTok. What up? What up, Erica? Good to see you. 65? Holy shit.
Yeah. Joke.
Oh, you know what? Hold up. I'm going to BRB. I did not shift that over last night.
Well, that's okay.
I just kept that on and did not shift over. So
That's okay. I move my stuff and I usually for like a few days anyways because that's second one.
I'll do that.
I just want to get some shorts.
For sure. Hi. Did you like outside, buddy? Did you like outside?
It was awesome.
There's a fun little dog area over there, too. If you want to take him over there, but.
You want me to take him there?
No. I mean, like, if you're looking for something fun to do with him, like,
Okay.
I think it's over by the playground.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. I think it's like a little dog park like area, but yeah, I don't know how to describe it because I don't really have dogs, but like yeah, there's like a yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it.
Hi.
All right, how you doing, Erica? What's up? What's up with you today?
Ralph, no.
Oh,
Come here. No.
there's a dog. You're still in bed? Oh, that's cool. Wait, where are you at in Texas? So not much, not yet. All right, cool. The day is young. All right. So this is basically what I'm doing here. This is I'm editing on a program called Logic Pro, and I've already got everything recorded, but I'm just taking out all the bad clips and trying to condense everything down for a first pass edit. Card counting in Baccarat focuses slightly. Card counting in Baccarat focuses on slightly different objectives and mechanics compared to blackjack. However, card counting in Baccarat focuses on slightly different objectives and mechanics compared to blackjack. However, card counting in Baccarat focuses on slightly different objectives and mechanics compared to blackjack. The mechanics of card counting in Baccarat. Takes me like forever to get one of these. Card counting in Baccarat involves tracking the distribution of specific cards, particularly the tens and face cards, which have a value of 0. Okay. Cards, which have a value of 0. Let's see. Corpus Christi. Okay. All right. I think I'm familiar with that place. On the Gulf, about 3 hours south of Houston. That's pretty sick. Is he editing the longest part of the process? Yes. And it's so annoying. If I could just give this to somebody else to do, then I think that I could do like 3 or 4 times as much work, but this process is super, super annoying. Because you're like just going through and like 2 out of the 3 takes are really, really bad. It takes like a lot of thought to put the proper emotion into the words themselves. So it just takes a while to actually get there with the performance. And honestly, I don't really like listening back to myself like this over and over. So if I could just give this to somebody else, that would be really cool. But yeah, no, I don't have that just yet. Aces valued at 1 and low cards such as 5s and 6s, which are aces valued at 1 and low cards such as 5s and 6s, which are crucial. Sorry, there's so many ducks and geese here. So you just hear that all the time out here. In determining the winning hand. Which are crucial in determining the winning hand. Such as 5s and 6s, which are crucial in determining the winning hand. Which are crucial in determining the winning hand. All right, see, these are almost identical, like... Which are crucial in determining the winning hand. Which are crucial in determining the winning hand. Okay, I think I like the volume on the second, but I kind of don't like the emotion on that, to be honest. All right, okay. No, you can absolutely run it. Like there's
Gonna mess with your thing.
no, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, no, there could be as much noise as like I always do laundry while I'm doing this, and yeah, editing it's not gonna mess anything up whatsoever. So yeah, you are totally fine. You are all good to make as much noise as possible. You can even jump on stream if you want. Like it's super low key.
I look like a hot potato.
Absolutely not. All right, let's see. Do you have the job or the audiobook already, or are you making a sample? No, so this is an accepted job. So I could sort of walk you through the process, but let me make sure that I'm on a good tab here. Okay. So this is basically like the tab that I work with, and this site is called ACX. It's the Audiobook Creation Exchange, and in this you can like look through the marketplace as an audiobook producer to find projects. So all of these projects are books that are currently waiting for somebody to make them into an audiobook. And what I would do as an audiobook producer is I would look through these and I would say, okay, Journey to what is that? Pleiades Star System, whatever. That sounds like fiction. So I probably wouldn't do it to be honest, but I'd look at this, I'd see what the title's about, look at the details. Yeah, it's science fiction, fantasy. I try and stay away from that. But then I'd go into the audition script here and I would see what that audition script is like, and I would kind of see how the book is written, and if I could, as an audiobook producer, do this script given what it looks like. Could I pull this off? And if I can, and I'm like, okay, that looks good, then I'll go ahead and audition for it. And I'll go into Logic Pro, make a MP3 file, and then upload that here. And it'll just sit there in the auditions for a while until it either hits this thing where it says no longer receiving auditions and they've chosen someone, or you get an offer from somebody and it'll show up on this offer screen, right? And every time it shows up on this offer screen, you get like offer to produce audiobook, and then you can look at the contract and it'll tell you like when the 15 minutes are due, when the completed project is due and stuff like that. So I've got all of these. I've got 12 books that I'm working on now, and then I completed this one right here. And let's see. 3 sales apparently. 3 sales on the audiobook. Love that. And so as you can see, I'm asking for deadline extensions on these because we've passed the deadline. So that's why I am working on this today. Yep. All right, let's go back. Where's back? There we go. Yeah, so I have the book. I have the job already. I have accepted a contract to produce this, and this is far in the process to where I am I'm creating it. Okay. And it's a daunting task too sometimes because, like, as you can see, it's like 7.5 minutes in right here, but like in 7.5 minutes, I've only made about 3 minutes worth of usable material, and some of this I know is repeated. So when we look at like this clip is an hour and 5 minutes, which is forever. But if I chop it down, I guarantee that the final product will be about like 22 minutes. Like all these clips were the exact same way, where it was like, this is about 22 minutes of usable material. But to begin with, this was about an hour. And this was about like, I don't know. I think this was about an hour. That was about like 45 minutes. But these things take forever. And then you don't get much out of it. So it's kind of frustrating like that. The mechanics of card counting. The mechanics of card counting in Baccarat. Okay. Card counting in Baccarat involves tracking the distribution of specific cards. See, I didn't like the... Yeah. Card counting in Baccarat involves tracking the distribution. Tracking the distribution. That's hard. Card counting in Baccarat involves tracking the distribution of specific cards, particularly. Card counting in Baccarat involves tracking the distribution of specific cards, particularly the tens and face cards. Let's see, do I do that again? Aces. No. Card counting in Baccarat involves tracking the distribution of specific cards. Okay. Particularly the tens and face cards, which have a value of 0. Okay. Aces. And then that's where I clip it next. All right. Okay. Aces in their places. Valued at 1. And low cards such as 5s and 6s, which are crucial in determining the winning hand. The idea is that by keeping track of these cards, I can hear the echo. It's just so bad. Hold up. The idea is that by keeping track of these cards, players can gain insight into the likelihood of certain outcome. The idea is that by keeping track of such as whether the player or banker is... Okay, so let's see. Such as whether the... No. The idea is that by keeping track of these cards, players can gain insights into the likelihood of certain outcomes. Such as whether the player or banker whether the player or banker is more likely to win the next hand. The idea is that by keeping track of these cards, players can gain insights into the likelihood of certain outcomes. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. Yeah. Such as whether the player or banker is more likely to win the next hand. What? For example, if a disproportionate... Okay, actually, no. Such as whether the Okay, so such as, and then whether the player or banker is more likely to win the next hand. Okay, all right. For example, if a disproportionate... Okay, actually, let's see. I'll stop bugging you. I'll just let you vibe. I'll do the work. Eric, thank you. I appreciate you, but you are feel free to bother me. This whole process is interactive. So feel free to come in, drop a comment. It's all gonna appear on the side here. So whatever you say, Whatever you say goes. Number of low cards have been dealt. Okay, let's see. Yeah, thanks for popping in, though. I really appreciate you. Coming into Twitch and showing some love. I don't really have too many people on Twitch just yet, so every little bit super helps. I super appreciate that. Let's see. Let's go to my creator dashboard. Yeah, 24 followers. So I have a goal to hit 50. That's the current goal here. It says you're almost an affiliate. Unlock new features to engage your community by making money doing what you love. Learn about affiliate benefits. So I think you need like 50 or 100. Or maybe this is just the affiliate, but to have affiliate, you need 50 followers, stream 8 hours a month, stream 7 days a month, bless you, and average 3 concurrent viewers. It looks like I'm hitting 2 of those, so I have streamed 26 hours in this past month. I've streamed for 11 days this past month, so we got those 2. But I'm halfway to the follower count, and I am just over halfway for the 3 concurrent viewers. So I don't know what Twitch affiliate becomes or what that makes, but let's see. I do see that there is a fair bit of discoverability on this, a lot more than I had initially assumed. Most of that coming from other channels, though. So it looks like we got a lot of hits on like the Mizkif tag, the Maya tag, the Squeaks tag, the Emiru tag, and the NMPLOL tag. So those all look like they get a lot of viewership. But I'm pretty new here still, so I don't really know how the platform works too well. But every little bit counts. So I super appreciate that. I love it. It's low-key an ASMR kind of thing. I'm vibing. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, feel free to pop in or pop out, however you like, and definitely be here for the whole process. Hopefully, it's not as well. I'll say that it's way less annoying to edit when I am broadcasting it. Like when I'm able to showcase what I'm doing and talk about it and reform it in a way that makes sense in my mind and like present that, I have a much better time doing it. But man, if I'm doing this by myself, like it is just absolutely, it's so much work all the time. So I appreciate you watching. Thank you. It might be slightly more favorable to bet on the player as the likelihood of the player. Okay, so I think this right here. As the likelihood of the player drawing a beneficial third card increases. Conversely, if the deck is rich in 10s and face cards, the banker might have a slight edge. The banker might have a slight edge. Edging. All right, let's see. Feasibility of card counting in Baccarat. Yeah. Feasibility of card counting in Baccarat. Okay. While the So I usually always pick the second one, but let's see. Feasibility of card counting in Baccarat. Yeah, my voice kind of sounds whiny. Feasibility of card counting in Baccarat. And the second time is a little intense, but whatever. While the concept of card counting in Baccarat is theoretically possible, While the concept of card counting in Baccarat is theoretically possible and it's practical.
Oops.
While the concept of card counting in Baccarat is theoretically possible, it's practically possible. Its practical application is limited by several factors. 1. Card shuffling and number of decks. Baccarat is typically played with 6 to 8 decks of cards, which are shuffled together. The sheer number, hard S, the sheer number of cards dilutes the impact of card counting.
I love that every time. It's like card counting. Card counting. It's not how it's supposed to be said, but I keep saying it that way compulsively.
Say it that way every time. The sheer number of cards dilutes the impact of card counting, making it less effective than in blackjack.
Yeah, I got a lot to learn here. All right, let's see.
The sheer number of
Okay, so the sheer number is...
Yeah,
so that's definitely that. Then we got a lot of dead space here, so we'll trim all that. Actually, what's going on over here?
It's tickling my nose. What is that?
All right.
Additionally, mouth. Additionally, many casinos use automatic shuffling machines.
Oh?
Many casinos use automatic shuffling machines.
Okay, so I think I cut that a little too close.
Many casinos use automatic shuffling machines, which further reduces the effectiveness of card counting. Additionally, many casinos use automatic shuffling machines, which further reduces the effectiveness of card counting by constantly. Additionally, many casinos use automatic shuffling machines, which further reduces the effectiveness of card counting by constantly shuffling cards.
Yeah, I think I took a breath and then just redid that, which was probably a good move here, but let's compare the two.
Additionally, many casinos use automatic shuffling machines, which further reduces the effectiveness of card counting. Additionally, many casinos use automatic shuffling machines, which further reduces the effectiveness of card counting by constantly shuffling cards.
All right, I'm going to choose that because I like the emotion. It's more like subtle. It's complete, so you got that. And I pronounce card counting better, so that is good all around. I like that one. I love it. You're doing multiple passes for every sentence you record. Yeah. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. Like, it would be one thing if it's just like you're reading it every time and you get it perfectly. And it's like, the 2-hour audiobook took 2 hours to do. That would be one thing. But no. It's more like, okay, so this audiobook is 2 hours. So in order to get 2 hours worth, like as you saw, like for every 3 takes, only one of them is good. So you have to do like 3 times the amount, bare minimum. So that's like, okay, so if it's 2 hours, then now you got to multiply that by 3. Now it's 6 hours to do this thing, which, okay, that's fair. That's like a work day to do. But you're not doing every single line back to back to back. Like there's some dead air in between and there's some, so like you're maybe looking at like 8 hours. But then you got to comb through that 8 hours. So it takes 8 hours to comb through it. So that's 16 hours right there. And then you have to spend more time to like tailor it down and like fit the timing. So like by the end of it, like 2 hours worth of produced material could take you, like, my last 2 hours took me 60 hours to make. So that's a horrible ratio. And that's part of why it, like, takes so long to do this. And I would be okay. Yeah, it's like 60 hours to do it. So, and I would be okay if it was just like, I just have to record that 8 hours, and then it's like, all right, I'm good with the book. Let's move on to the next one. But it's not. It, like, you have to, the bulk of that is now editing that material down to a usable format. So I would say, let's see, what's that proportion? Because 60 minus 8 would be like 52. So 8 hours is recording, 52 hours is editing. So 8 out of 60 is 0.13, or if we invert that, 7.15, or 7.5 out of, is that right? 7.5 out of 100? No. %. Recording is only 13% of it. Like, it's less than 20%. And I think that you should probably have like an 80-20 rule where it's like 20% of the time is spent recording, 80% of it is editing. I think that would make sense. But yeah, no, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. All right, let's see. We got an invite. It says Thanksgiving at my brother's house. Oh, was deleted. Uh-oh. What are we doing, champs? What is the deal? Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's go back to it. 14 minutes in. All right. Additionally, many casinos use automatic shuffling machines, which further reduces the effectiveness of card counting by constantly shuffling the cards. Okay, I don't know, because I'm a little nasally on that take. I don't know. Let's see. By constantly shuffling the cards. Like, the volume isn't completely there on that, and I know why I redid it, but at the same time, by constantly shuffling the cards, I feel like I'm way too in my nose on that one. So I'm gonna go with the first one, but this is one of the rare occasions where I will go with the first one. Of card counting. By constantly shuffling the cards. Okay, and then I was like way too in the, like my throat wasn't, where was I in the throat? I don't know about that. I don't know how to describe it, but I didn't have the proper inflection there, so. 2, small margins. You're a small margin. Yeah, I felt it 2. There. Small margins. Yeah, there you go. Even when card counting in Baccarat is executed perfectly. Executed perfectly? Even when card counting in Baccarat is executed perfectly. Okay, all right, fair enough. Even when card counting in Baccarat is executed perfectly. Ooh. The edge gained is minimal. Edging. The edge gained is minimal. Unlike blackjack. This is what I don't like. You know how much better it would be if I had an editor if they were just like, you know what, I saw these 2 takes and like that was the only decision I made, where they're like, I had these 2 takes where it's like, the edge gained is minimal. Or the edge gained is minimal.
And then I'm like, you know what? I had too much of like this weird throat epiglottal thing going on with that second one. Definitely going with the first, even though it doesn't have all of the volume. Literally, if I just had that as being my primary decision, that would be super cool. Future state of things. That's okay. Unlike blackjack, where card counting can significantly swing the odds in the player's favor, the advantage gained in baccarat is typically fractional and often does not. The advantage gained in baccarat is typically fractional and often not enough to outweigh the house edge. Yeah. 3. 3. I always have a problem with 3. There's something about that word where it's like 3. I don't know. It's all over the mouth. It's like starting from the tongue and then back to the R's. Notoriously hard thing to say, right? There's a whole field of speech pathology that's like dedicated to addressing the issues with pronouncing R's. So, it's a lot of transfer there. 3. And even just like being able to fully have that momentum from the get-go with a word that starts with because you don't want to there's too much plosion on the mic, but it's like at the same time you still want the volume, so it's like 3. Terrible 3s. Complexity and concentration. Hell yeah. Complexity and concentration. Okay. All right. Complexity and concentration. All right. They didn't have enough volume, enough fill in the voice, and this is more. Complexity and concentration. Not super impressed, but we'll go with second take. I think that's better. Delete that first. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. And what a didactic pronunciation. Am I right? Am I right, champs? Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. And mental prowess. Okay. Bring that back over. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly. Tracking specific cards. Ooh, you know what I don't like? Tracking that like squeak in the back of my voice there. You hear that? Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly. Okay, I don't like that. Nor I think the emotion behind it, but I think I finalize it better. So let's see it. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly. Okay. And then compare this bit. Requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. To. Requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. See, I love the way that ends. That's got a much better end to it. So what I'm going to do is shift this over and then zoom in and make sure I put this right on top of it. Yeah. But then bleed that over. Yeah. Accordingly, requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. All right. And then I just want to make sure that the momentum carries throughout. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. That's good. I like that. Okay. That is good. Yo, what's up, YouTube? Good to see you, YouTube. I'm going to make sure there's no comments from YouTube there. All right, cool.
Welcome in. How you doing today? We are doing an editing broadcast. This is to edit this book. Sorry, audio creation. This is an audiobook on a casino game called Baccarat. I'm an audiobook producer for Audible, and it was the offer was given to me to make this book. Actually, I didn't audition for this one. This one was given to me by the rights holder who saw my audition for another book and really, really liked it and wanted me to do another book. So this was tacked on last minute, and he's like, we were looking for somebody to do this. You have the perfect voice. I want you to do it. So that's how this got started. That's how a lot of this got started, actually. There's another set of people that were, I think every single person that accepted me gave me other books that they were looking for titles for. Like, I think that's a really good sign. So, loving that. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. The potential gain is so small by the effort. You know what? I did do a good job, so. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level. Like, I did a good job the first time here. I don't think I need this next take, to be honest, but especially since I need to splice it up there. Of concentration and mental acuity. I know why I'm doing it, because I think I wasn't completely impressed with the last one, but I think that splicing it together like this does kind of work. So let's see. Let's decide. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly of concentration and mental acuity. Of concentration and mental acuity. Of concentration and mental acuity. Okay. So, I did like the first time around. I really did. The volume is not completely there. And this actually brings the momentum down to a point. I think it does a really good job of, like, being able to finalize the sentence. I like that. So, and mental acuity. This has an element of that, but I think that this one does a little bit better with it. And mental acuity. Mental acuity. So that's hard because I already spliced that of concentration. And I think it's going to be challenging to a high level of concentration. Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to splice that in there because the way I break it up in the second sentence is different than the first time around. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly. And then I think I say like requires and then I break, right? Accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. I honestly think that second time around is more clear. It's definitely more clear. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly. Okay. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. Okay, so I think here's the decision because I think I like these two together. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. What if I break it up here? And mental acuity. What if I just take this broken this broken piece and put it maybe like over here. Concentration and mental acuity. Because I really like the way it dips down, but I don't think that the way I break that up totally makes sense. So let's see. Tracking specific cards and adjusting bets accordingly requires a high level of concentration and mental acuity. All right. Okay. I do like that. Thank you so much. You have a great voice, so I get it. Thank you. Seriously. And very dynamic. Very dynamic. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm going for dynamic range. Just clarity. I think clarity is definitely what I'm looking for. I think because like I've spent there's been so many situations where a lack of clarity in speech has led to a misunderstanding, which led to like issues in some sort of scenario. So it's like really, really, really important to use the correct words or use the words in a correct manner or to say them so that they're best understood. I know that there's a fair bit of sacrifice with people being able to understand what you're saying with regard to like the definitions of words, right? Because there are a lot of people that don't have the most expanded vocabulary, and it's difficult because you have to make this decision to say like, okay, that word means exactly what I want it to mean, but not many people know that word. So do I use the word that doesn't exactly mean what I mean, but most people know what I'm talking about? Or do I use the word that means exactly what I'm talking about that no one really knows? And the purpose of communication is to reflect the interior of my mind in such a way that you understand what I'm saying. So the purpose of communication is to be understood. So you need to say things in a way that people can understand it, but also at the same time to be clear with respect to what's actually in your mind. So it's a struggle. What do you call it? I think it's like a diode. Hold up. Like a diode, for example, is an electric component that allows current to flow in one direction but not the other. Not exactly what I mean. Dielectric. I think it's dielectric. Yeah, because a dielectric is a material that is a poor conductor of electricity and can be polarized into an electric field. I always think about it as like a dielectric, because what a dielectric can do is it can be used as a capacitor, and you can an insulating material or very poor conductor of electronic current. Yeah. And so you can use a dielectric as a capacitor, and then so what that does is it provides like within this system of electronics, you provide its opposite of like fighting against what you're trying to achieve. And so you have both like the conducting of electricity, which is what you want, but then you also have something that prevents the conducting of electricity there. And these two forces are sort of fighting against each other, allowing for the ability for capacitance or storing electronic current. So what I really like about that is I almost see speech in that very same way, where you have not only like the goal of speech is communication, but by the very same token, you have an inability to be perceived if you don't know the definition. So communication can't take place, therefore like it's opposite, right? And you have those two things like sort of running opposed to one another, and stored in between them is the meaning of what you're trying to say. And so like in order to have the most meaningful speech, you need to target like the midpoint between able to be communicated, but also mean exactly what you're talking about. And so the more foreign speech that you use, the more you're going to lose people. And so you can't be on that extreme, but then you also can't be on the other extreme to where you're not meaning anything at all with what you're saying. The most meaningful speech is being able to mean the most with the least amount of words that the most amount of people can understand. It's like this balance between it all. And even if you get the right words, ooh, yes. Okay, so, and even if you get the right words, inflection can affect understanding too. Yeah. And the way that you break the words up are really, really important. There's a lot of different components to the elements of speech, and you're exactly right, where it's like the spacing that you take to pause and mean and emphasize individual parts of the word are really important. Or which parts of the words do you breeze through? Because if you don't enunciate a certain part of the word that's really important and differentiates it from a very similar popular word, then the words that you're using can be obfuscated and people can misinterpret what you're saying. Even more perniciously is people out there that will actually intentionally and maliciously misinterpret what you're saying as something that could be misinterpreted as something else that fits their agenda, right? Like, that's something to really, really be cautious of if you're speaking eloquently, but you're speaking something that could be controversial. If you say that, then people are like, well, basically you're saying this, and it's like it's a lower dimensional projection of what you're saying, but it's a misinterpretation of it. And so it's projected through the like a polarized or colorized lens, right? So you have almost this beam of communication, this stream of consciousness that gets projected down into a lower dimension, but then also gets like twisted or shifted into a different wavelength of light. It's very, very and people do this intentionally and maliciously. Like I said, it's very, very disappointing, but you see that often in today's society. All right, let's see, where were we? The potential gain is so small. The potential gain is so small that it might not justify the effort and the potential gain is so small that it might not justify the effort and focus required, especially over long periods of focus required. Especially over long periods of play. Okay. Effectiveness of card counting. Oof. Effectiveness of card counting in Baccarat. Given the factors mentioned above, card counting in Baccarat is Given the factors mentioned above. Okay, so I redo that, so I'll probably go with that second take. Given the factors mentioned above. That's better. Yeah, I like that. Card counting in Baccarat is generally not considered an effective strategy for most players. Yeah, I know. The marginal advantage gained does not significantly. The marginal advantage gained. Dang. The marginal advantage gained. See, you know what I'm talking about? Like, these words, when you hear them over and over and over again, it just gets like so frustrating in your mind. Like, just get to the point. What are you talking about? Oh my God. The marginal advantage gained does not significantly reduce the house edge. Ugh. Making it unlikely to provide
making it unlikely to provide a consistent profit.
There you go. That's better. That's better.
Additionally, the effort and skill, required to maintain an accurate count in a
I feel like I redo that. I really must. Hold up.
instead of the effort and skill required.
Okay. All right. So I guess I don't. That's totally fine. Totally fine. Totally fair.
Additionally,
I like that additionally better than the second time around. I do.
the effort and skill, additionally,
Because that's got no volume whatsoever.
effort and skill.
So probably pull that all the way back to here.
Effort and skill required to maintain an accurate count in a multi-deck game can be exhausting with minimal payout. Deck game.
You got deck game. Sorry. Let's see.
Game. Deck game can be exhausting.
Maybe like that.
Game can be exhausting with
It sounds like I'm punching in. I don't want to do that. You know how rappers punch in? I don't want to do that.
in a multi-deck game can be exhausting with minimal payout. With minimal payoff.
Ah, and I flubbed the line too?
Instead of
Get out of here, dude.
exhausting with minimal payout. With minimal payoff.
Yeah, let's just like scoop that in. Let's just scoop that in.
Game can be exhausting with minimal payoff.
Actually, that isn't bad. That's not a bad way to do it. I am not unhappy. Hey, what's up, Gray? Good to see you, Gray. What's up? Eric, happiest of Sundays. That's true. Hey, it is a sunny Sunday out here in St. Louis, and I'll tell you what, it's beautiful weather out there. I heard it was 62. My friend Alexis is over, and she told me it's 62 degrees outside, so that is beautiful weather. Very happy to hear that. What up, Gray? Good to see you, Gray. Hey, how are you doing? Sorry, I can't read. I am doing very well. It's a beautiful day, beautiful Sunday, and I'm just up here early, working away on the audiobook. Hope the audiobook is going well. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, it's coming along. It's definitely coming along. How are you doing today on this Sunday? Do you have any special effects that you got in the chamber? I'm really excited to see the next one that's coming up. The Enchantress was really cool, and the Joker was awesome. Gotta say, I'm a big fan of the Beetlejuice one. I think the Beetlejuice one was really, really cool. Let's see, what else? Well, tonight we're thinking about going to a concert, maybe Queen Herbie. I think that's the one that we're probably going to. So, there's that on the docket. So I'm trying to get some audiobook done before I have plans tonight, because this is like beyond due. This is like due. We're coming up on like 2 months beyond the deadline. So it's like, I really need to make some progress on this. So I need to do as much as I can on this. Wait, I'm glad you're doing well. Today is my love that. 7 a.m. and we're sleep deprived, but we're rolling with it. I love that, Gray. I love that. Hopefully you have fun on the trip. I'm trying to remember where exactly you're going. I think you said, was it Puerto Rico? Shoot. Maybe I've only seen it once, but oof. Yeah, where are you going again? Please remind me. Yeah, but that's today, and then we have an audit at work, so I'm going to be pretty focused on that tomorrow. We have sort of like so if you can picture the FDA, right? The Food and Drug Administration. We have the same type of administration coming to our work, or sorry, my job at Thermo Fisher, and we produce biologically derived pharmaceuticals there. And in order to sell on the market of Turkey, we need to have the Turkish ministry conduct an audit at our site and make sure everything is good, and in order for them to produce our biologically derived pharmaceuticals on their market with their standards. Oh, you're going to Washington. Of course you're going to Washington. Yes, you did tell me you're going to Washington. Absolutely. That's awesome. I love that. That's a fun trip. Oh, thank you, by the way. That means so much to say without much work, much love. I love that. About my work. Oh, yeah. Of course. Going to Washington. Oh, that's cool. I'd love to know what you're doing in Washington.
Instead of
Because, like, you're from the Bay Area, so I know it's a bit of a trip, but to me, all that area looks so close together. So when you tell me you're going to Washington, to me, it's like, oh, you're going to Chicago sort of a thing. Like, like a 4-hour trip. And it's like, we're here to have some fun, but, don't exactly know what that looks like from your vantage point.
Instead of
Oof, I was having trouble there.
Instead of relying on
Okay, so I think as you can see, I'm like building the intonation there.
Instead of relying
I do not like the way I said that. Ew.
Instead of relying on card counting,
And then I feel like at this point I'm getting like emotional about it.
Instead of relying on card counting, many Baccarat players prefer to focus on more practical strategies, such as
No, hold up.
instead of relying on card counting,
There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better take. Hold up.
instead of relying on card counting, instead of relying on card counting, instead of relying on card counting,
I don't think I'm happy with any of those takes, actually. Well, my mental health hasn't been the best. I've been so stressed about surgery, so my friend Athena offered me to stay with her for a whole week. I love that. It's good to get a change of scenery and get away for a little while. I think that does the world of a difference, because like when you're in the same place for too long, you like almost fester in those feelings. So to get that like to provide that space, that breaking up of being able to find yourself in a new environment and break up the monotony, for one, which is really kind of the point that I'm trying to get across. But like, even now I'm thinking about another thought where like, in addition to breaking up that monotony and coming back with a reaffirmed or a new perspective, what that does is, there's biological evidence to suggest that traveling or exploring will actually make you produce novel proteins in your body. Like being able to travel to a new space. So let's see, let's back up. There's a couple different things. Like in your mind is like mapped. Your mind is psychologically mapped very, very spatially. And you can see this where if you're trying to remember something, there's this tactic called the mind palace, where if you're trying to remember something, picture it as a space, or picture it as a palace, picture it as a place that you can go to. So like you walk up to the door and the door is red, right? Like encode that in your mind as a coded message. Like left on red or something. I don't know. And then you open the door and you look on the countertop and you see a vase, and that's like the vase is a code for something. Or you look to the left and you see a TV. What is that encoding? What's on the TV? What does the couch look like? What's on the couch? Stuff like that. If you encode memories in your mind spatially, you are astronomically better at encoding that information. So that's a tactic for like learning long streams of numbers. And I think that Barbara Oakley describes this in her book, A Mind for Numbers. I might be switching that up, but that's where I'm getting that idea. But there's that tactic. So your mind, it's just to reiterate, your mind is like structured. It's psychologically mapped to encode spatial understanding really, really well. So if you explore new spaces, it actually allows your mind to expand in such a way that you wouldn't have otherwise. And so that creates new neurons, that creates proliferation of your neuronal capabilities. But then also what that does is you are exposing yourself to a newfound environment, and it'll actually, it's a process of epigenetics as well, where when exposing yourself to new environments, your body, your DNA is exposing itself to a newfound environment and epigenetically encoding for different pieces of your DNA, therefore producing novel proteins that you've never expressed before. So when you take yourself and you explore new environments, you actually become a different person completely. And I think that's an incredible. I think that's maybe the biggest sell for traveling, for moving to new spaces, to going to traveling and living sort of that nomadic lifestyle that just brings you to a new place every time. I think that there's some merit to being able to settle down and live in one place, and that can be mentally reassuring to expect a stabilized scenario every day you come home. I think that there's some sort of stability on that, but there's got to be some sort of explorer stage for us, where we become a different person because we're exploring. And I think that there's a lot of like psychological evidence to support that. There's a lot of neuronal evidence to support that, and there's a lot of biological evidence to support that as well. This trip and the thought of going has me the happiest in months. I love that. That's awesome. It's getting cold too. It's getting pretty cold in November. I'll tell you what though, 62 degrees here in St. Louis. It's pretty beautiful. I love that. All right, let's get down to business. Let's see what's going on with this. Instead of relying on let's see. So if I just take that first bit, instead of relying. Oh, by the way, you will catch me doing this a lot, and I'm not procrastinating. So there are two different modes in your mind, right? There's what's called the focus mode and the diffused mode of working on a project. Let's say you're working on a mathematical problem, and you're focused on it, and you're trying to figure it out, and you can't figure it out. You're trying to figure it out, and you can't figure it out. Then you go for a walk, and you come back, and then you're suddenly hit with this profound understanding that you did not have before. And it's because you allowed your mind to wander for a bit. And what that does is it accesses this part of your mind that's the diffuse mode. And so I believe this is expressed in Thinking Fast and Slow, which I've never read, but apparently that best encapsulates the idea. But I think this is also described in A Mind for Numbers. So that's where I'm getting that from as well. Let's see. So what I'm doing is I'm zooming out, and I'm trying to listen to the problem's working in the background of my mind. That's kind of what I'm doing here when I'm addressing the chat.
Instead of relying,
Okay.
instead of relying,
Because now I'm coming back to this same problem that we just had. But like in the background of my mind, I've been working on how to do this solution. So the problem is that this has way too much volume.
instead of relying on,
Like, and it sounds forceful. It sounds angry. I don't like this. But it is a more complete take. So my intuition is to use this as much as I don't want to. But I want to figure out a way to use one of these takes and then blend over into this other without losing that emotion, that momentum. So lose all of this emotion that's going on in the front end, but then get the completeness of the back end. Not exactly sure how to do it, but I think I've been working on the problem here.
instead of relying on card counting, many Baccarat players,
Okay, so
instead of relying on card counting,
compare that to,
instead of relying on card counting,
it's way too much going on. So what if I do this into the other?
instead of relying on card counting, many Baccarat players prefer to focus on more practical strategies.
That actually sounds much better. I like that.
Instead of relying on card counting, many Baccarat players prefer to focus on more practical strategies.
Honestly, that's not bad. I'm kind of pleased with that. And I think that this still has enough emotion that's similar to this back end here, but it doesn't just sound like I'm maxing out the volume there. So I like that.
Instead of relying on card counting,
Yeah. So that one's the most complete. Okay, actually, between these two, but let me read this chat. So, LOL. Hey, also it's 7:30, so I do have to go. Maybe I'll join in later if you are going live, but until then, have fun with the audiobook and the live stream, and I hope your day is as bright as you. See you later, Eric. Thank you so much, Gray. Thank you for popping in. I love you. You are awesome, and I hope that you have a wonderful trip in Washington. I think that'll be exactly the break in monotony that you need, and yeah, have fun. Thanks so much for popping in. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you on the next one.
instead of relying on card counting, many Baccarat players prefer to focus on more practical strategies.
All right, that's not bad. That is not bad. I don't hate that completely. Okay. All right, let's see. I don't want to break that up here, but yeah, because I would be breaking that up. Command that all the way over, and then we are 20 minutes into this edit. This take is about an hour. Out of that 20 minutes, we have about 6.5 of usable material. So you can feel my frustration on that. Hey, what's up? Good to see you. Yo, we got Life Elements in here. Hold up. We got Life Elements in the chat. We got Life Elements. We got a third Twitch. What's up? How you doing? Yo, yo, yo. Good to see you. Good to see you. This makes me excited because if I get 3 concurrent and I sustain that for a good amount of time, then Eric, not trying to distract you, but I saw your boudoir photo shoot. Okay, Edward Cullen, get it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was a really fun one. And thank you so much for all the love on that. I really do appreciate it. That was really cool. So that one was with this guy. His name's Gene Starkweather. And he is a pretty renowned boudoir photographer here in St. Louis. A lot of the models that model out here will model through him. And it was a pleasure doing boudoir with him in his studio. That was really cool. And he had a very particular vision for what he wanted. And I think that's the fastest I've ever seen photos turned around. He literally got those to us like within hours of us. You know, we were still dressed up as the characters, like eating Mexican, and we got those photos. It was insane. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for all the love. And I'm really happy with how those turned out. So I was really surprised. Like, first of all, I usually try and post around like 9 a.m., 11 a.m. because like that's when you get peak viewership on Instagram. And I think that you sort of shoot yourself in the foot if you post outside of those hours. But yesterday, I'm really focused on like numerology of things. So if it's like, you know, 1109 was a good number. I wouldn't post today. 1110 is like, it's all right, but there are better days. Like 1111, that's a better day. Like 1114, that's a good day. I probably should have posted on 11.7. That was pretty good. Or like 11.4. Those are good. But like there are other days like 11.5, not so much. 11.6, no. But so like the little small things like that are important. So it was important to me to post yesterday. And it was just really late in the day. Way later than I normally post. But I posted that last night, and there was a lot of people that interacted with that, so much more than I had anticipated. So I was really happy to see it. I was happy to see the response to it. And yeah, I can't wait to do more. That was awesome. All right, let's see. I think that I'm just going to do just a little bit more on here, but then I think once I dip back down to like maybe 2 or so and Twitch, or maybe even just 1, like I might pop off here for a bit. We've been on for about an hour, and maybe I might get to like a midpoint in this, and then I might pop off at that rate. Let's see, where are we at? Such as understanding the odds. There's a lot of weight in my voice here. Such as understanding the odds and house edge of different bets. That's actually way better. Such as understanding the odds and house edge of different bets. That's funny that I like exactly read what I'm feeling now, but like in the moment, and I redid it, and I did it better. All right, let's compare the two. Such as understanding the odds and house edge of different bets. Such as understanding the odds and house edge of different bets. Managing their bankroll effectively. And knowing when to walk away from the table. Okay, I might redo that again, I think. While While the allure of card counting,
Actually, no. All right.
managing their bankroll effectively, and knowing when to walk away from
Okay, so I do need that
effectively, and
and I think about right there. Or maybe just after. So how about this?
and knowing when to walk.
I think maybe that initial thought was better. Let's see.
And knowing when to walk
Yeah.
away from the table.
Oh no, our table. It's broken.
Knowing when to walk away from the table.
Ah, you know what? That is so true. That is so true. All right.
Knowing when to walk away from the table.
Because that leaves something on the table. That's like, I am inviting the next word, but there's no word to come. So I got to get rid of that. Unfortunately, I think it's good timing. It just, not exactly what we want here. Okay. All right, let's see it.
And knowing when to walk away from the table.
All right. Unfortunately.
While the allure of card counting may appeal to some, it's important to recognize its limitations within the context of Baccarat and approach the game with realistic expectations. While the allure of card counting may appeal to some, it's important to recognize its limitations within the context of Baccarat and approach the game with realistic expectations.
I think that second time is better.
Baccarat.
Let's find out.
Of Baccarat and approach the game.
No, I'm punching in there. We don't want that. We don't want to punch in. I'm using that term. Punching is like when a rapper does multiple takes. And you sort of see this when a rapper's like going and he's running out of breath, or she's running out of breath midway through a sentence in a live setting. This is because like during a recording session, they'll record a line and then, take a deep breath and then record that next line and then take a deep breath and record the next line. And sometimes, like, if you're really close to the mic or you're kind of far away from the mic, or even saw it here, the different volume that you approach each different line with is going to be different. So sometimes, like, they do one line up here and then they do another line down here, and you can't really tell exactly how you did it last time. So you could do some audio engineering to like fix that, but you can obviously tell, and Drake's got this in a lot of his songs, where there's a difference of volume back to back, and it's really clear that they're punching in.
Baccarat and approach the game with realistic expectations.
But that's pretty good though. I don't hate it.
Edge sorting and other advantage play techniques. Edge sorting and other advantage play techniques.
That's better. I like that.
Edge sorting and other advantage play techniques.
I kind of like the playfulness of that first time. Let's see this.
Edge sorting and other advantage play techniques. Edge sorting and other advantage play techniques.
Yeah, I mean, that second time, they both have like the same amount of inflection to them. They're both equally as accurate, but I think the first one's got a little bit more of a fun energy to it.
In the world of high-stakes
You're a high-stakes gambler.
In the world of high-stakes gambling, professional players gambling.
What?
Professional players can.
I actually had no idea that I could do that on here. That's kind of cool.
Professional players continuously search for methods. Professional players continuously search for methods to gain an edge over the house.
All right, let's see. You gotta know when to hold him, and you gotta know when to fold him. You gotta know when to walk away, when to run. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? You gotta know when to hold him, and you gotta know when to fold him. You know what? I am surprised that they did not mention that at all. They never used that once in this book. Maybe because they have to pay royalties or whatever, but no, there's a point in this book where it literally says like, sure, I can give you the draft to your next chapter, and it's so obvious that they had asked ChatGPT to help them formulate this book, and you can sort of tell that that's the case because when you're reading this book, the same exact thing is being said in a multitude of different chapters in almost the same way, and it makes you think like, bro, is this entire book just like made from ChatGPT? Because there's two different ways you can think about that. Like, one, how sad that this book is being produced using this kind of technology. Two, this is giving me all kinds of work because this person put no effort into creating this thing and has very little expectations. And now I can have all of this practice and all of these credits because there's so many different, like, you can't put a book on Audible that's been made with AI technology. So there's that limitation factor. But you can create a book made by AI technology. So it creates this differential between people that are mass producing books that need audiobook creators and a system that only allows actual audiobook creators. So I think that it's only like it's exclusively benefiting us creators this way. So I almost love and I hate it because like I'm not a fan of reading words over and over and over again that I've clearly already read and that disagree with one another. But at the same time, like, it is giving me a lot of work to do and a lot of practice and a lot of credits to achieve. So I am both a fan and a not a proponent of some of this.
Professional players continuously search for methods to gain an edge over the house.
Okay.
While most casino games are designed to favor the house,
Oh.
certain advanced techniques can tip the scales. Certain advanced techniques can tip the scales in favor of skilled and observant players.
Nice.
One such technique, edge sorting. One such technique, edge sorting, gained widespread attention.
Okay, so that.
One such technique.
Yeah, it is better the second time around.
One such technique. Edge sorting, gained widespread attention.
Okay, let's see.
Sorting, gained widespread attention due to its high profile cases involving some of the world's most successful gamblers. One such technique
One such technique, known as edge sorting. Edging. One such technique, edge sorting. Gain sorting. Edge sorting.
I hate how nasally my voice can be sometimes. It's just
Gained widespread attention due to its high profile attention due to its high profile cases.
ugh.
Due to its high profile cases.
Yeah, there you go.
Due to its high profile cases involving some of the world's most successful gamblers. This section explores edge sorting. And other advantage play techniques, shedding light on their mechanics, effectiveness, in the controversies surrounding hard S, very shedding light on their mechanics. This section explores edge sorting. There's a lot of S's going on here. This section explores edge sorting and other advantage play techniques, shedding light on their mechanics, effectiveness, and the controversies surrounding them.
All right, that's fair.
Edge sorting. The art of observing imperfections. The art of observing imperfections. All right, okay. I see you. I'm trying my best to
I know, right?
edge sorting. Gained widespread attention due to its high profile cases. Due to its high profile cases involving some of the world's most successful gamblers. This section explores edge sorting. And other advantage play techniques, shedding light on their mechanics, effectiveness, in the controversies surrounding. I'm trying my best to observing imperfections.
Yeah, no, this all can go.
Edge sorting. The art of observing imperfections. Edge sorting is a technique that involves identifying and exploiting subtle manufacturing defects or imperfections on the backs of playing cards.
All right, okay. Well, I got 3 more chunks to go. It's chapter 7. So we got chapter 7, 7, and 7. All right. Well, cool. I'm about midway through. So this might be a good stopping point right here. Let's see. Thanks for popping in, Erica. I appreciate you. Good to see you. Good to see you, E. Hello. Yeah, but we did a lot. We did a substantial chunk. We are at least halfway through this one chapter. And then we have 2 more after. We have chapter 8. No, actually 3 more. We have chapter 8, 9, and 10. And they're almost equal length. They're like 44, 23, and 32. So I feel like I can knock out the rest of these in like a second session, maybe a third. So hopefully that is what I'm doing tonight after the concert, and yeah, hopefully I can knock out the rest of this and at least do a first pass edit by the end of this weekend. I'd like to release this all like, I mean, ideally, if I could release this by tomorrow. That actually, no, I have a film. I'm an extra in a film tomorrow, but no. Hopefully, I can release this soon though, because kind of want to get this off the table and start working on the next two that just passed their due date, but I got that extended to the end of November. So I got about 2 more weeks to do that. So, and I'm gonna need every little minute of that. I really will, because I think one of them's like 2 hours, which isn't bad, but the other one I think is like 5. So that's gonna be quite substantial. Probably gonna have to find like a less echoey room too to do this in. I'm gonna find a closet to go record in. But yep, that's it. I think that's it for us this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you, and everybody watching on the playback. I see you. So thank you so much for watching all that, and yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday morning. But I will be back with